Oops. Sorry. Hello, welcome to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to the Trinity. My name is Hussein. Happy to be with you. Happy to be with me. Hope you're having a good night. Um, sorry. Sorry about that. You know, God bless you, Tiger. God bless you. It's good to see you. Um, is it a right or a left shin? I I I suspect it's a right shin, just because the right is so much more important. And if Allah only has one shin, it would be the right, not the left. Okay. So anyway, I'm not just talking about Allah's shin. Today I kind of want to look at all of his body parts because one thing Muslims will always tell you is that Allah is not spirit. He's not a spirit. Now our God is a spirit. Jesus said God is a spirit. But Muslims say Allah is not a spirit. Well, he's got all these body parts. Is he physical, or what's the situation? What is his essence? What is he? And so I just want to look at some of the different body parts of Allah and see. Let's see. Oops. Just 1 second here. We got a little bit of a. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and again and show some of this too. Okay, let's look at this. It says, "And to Allah belong the east and the west. So wherever you turn yourself or your faces, there is the face of Allah, and He is high above over His throne. Surely Allah is all sufficient for His creatures' needs." 2:115. So first thing that we see about Allah is that He has a face. Okay. I want to kind of see this in Arabic. It's kind of interesting to see how they say it in the Arabic. Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2 is the Baqarah, the cow. المشرق والمغرب. Okay. فأينما طولوا فثم فثم وجه الله إن الله واسع عليم. واسع عليم. Okay, which it talks right here about which is the face of Allah, the face of Allah. Now that's the word face. Is very well known. Is surely Allah. Okay, east was whether you turn facing towards Allah. Oh, I see what they did here. Because the word direct is also wajh, tawjih. And so here they translated which as they translate it as direct, kind of directing. Let me just look here. I'm kind of curious now to see how the majority of translators translate that. It's kind of a trick there because they're trying to avoid saying that Allah is physical, has a physical body. Okay, and but the Quran very clearly says He does, and so let's go ahead and see. I'm kind of curious now. Kind of curious how others translate this. Let's look to 115. Okay. Okay. Let's look at this together here. Okay. There is, okay, word for word, Shehnaz Sheikh. Okay. There is the face of Allah, indeed. God's countenance. Here they translated countenance. Countenance. Now these guys translated Yusuf Ali as the presence. You know, whenever they seem to be struggling, then that confirms that they are doing something deceptive. And when it seems a lot of them are doing it, then you really know something is you are facing towards, okay, Mustafa Khattab. And his face, okay, now Safi Kaskas, he says it correctly, his face is the face of God. Okay, Wahidun Khan says face of God. Allah's purpose, Shakir completely went off the rails. There is the face of God. Okay, monotheist group says the face of God. Leila Bakhtiyar, countenance. Countenance, T.B. Irving, presence. Oh, okay. Here, the face. And then they put in parenthesis presence. But there will be the face. Okay, is the face of Allah, the face of God. God's, okay, presence, the face of, okay. So a lot of them do have it correctly, but a lot of them, you adopt direction. Whithersoever you adopt direction, then there is the attention. Yeah, oh, yeah. Okay, your face, there is, okay, presence. They don't want, okay, there, hence is the face of all. Okay. Interestingly, the majority of them do acknowledge face of Allah. Okay. Countenance. Okay, face of Allah, Munshi. There's the face of Allah. There's the face of Allah. Okay. So a lot of them do, most of them actually translate it correctly. The face of God, his face, countenance, glory. All right. Okay, the face of Allah, Aisha Bewley. Okay. So, you know, just showing you the face of God, Ali Onal, Kuli Karai, face. Okay, so the majority of them do agree that that is face of Allah and that Allah has a face, you know. And so, hello, Pritimaya Siangabo. How are you? So, so the majority of them acknowledge that Allah has a face, which is, but a lot of them kind of, they realize they got a problem. They realize this is a huge theological catastrophe for Islam. And so they're trying to change it or to make it metaphorical or something like that. Yeah, a metaphorical face. But it seems like, you know, it seems like it's a physical face, just because all of the different body parts that Allah supposedly has, they don't make sense if you just keep it as metaphorical. It seems to make more sense that these are actual physical, because Muslims say that Allah is not a spirit. Well, if he's not a spirit, he's got to be something. And so more than likely he's physical. He is physical. And so, yeah, so let's see. T. Hicks, some people during the lifetime, Master, we see our Lord on the day of resurrection. And the messenger of Allah said, yes. Yes. And so, yeah, and he's got a physical body, a strange body, but a physical body. So the face, that's the first thing that we see is the face. He has a literal face, and it's everywhere. And so, okay, let's look at another body part. It says, now await in patience the command of thy Lord, for verily thou art in our eyes. And celebrate the praises of thy Lord whilst thou standest for. This is 52:48. Let's look at that. 52:48. Again, I think it'd be best to go here. 52:48. Okay. It says here, thou art well, art well within our sight. Okay, Muhammad Das'ad says within our sight. I want to see what the Arabic says. Okay, Muhammad Ghali says our eyes. Surely you are under our eyes. Okay, before our eyes. Okay. وَأُصْبُرْ لَحُكْمْ رَبَّكَ فَإِنَّكَ بِعَيْنِينَا. You are in our eyes. Okay, the word عَيْنِينَ, عَيْنِينَ means our eyes. Okay, so in the Arabic, here it is, they say, إِنَّكَ بِعَيْنِينَا. Ayunina, see? Ayunina. Okay. Let's see how they translate here. Yeah, you are in our eyes. Okay, some of them go to sight. Our sight. Pickthall also says sight. Yusuf Ali says our eyes. Mustafa Khattab, our watchful eyes. Okay, you are before Safi Kaskas, under our watchful eye. Okay, it's not really right, but before our eyes are, okay. Monotheist group went with sight instead of eyes. Leila Bakhtiyar, our eyes. Okay, so most of them are do translate it literally our eyes. A lot of them make it sight, but in the Arabic, there is the word aynena, which is eyes, our eyes, bi'aynina. So there's actually talking about eyes, and that is the word for eyes in Arabic. So it's got a face, and that face has eyes on it. Okay, we don't know what else. Generally, a face has eyes, a nose, a mouth. Yeah, but here, it when it says face, it doesn't talk about what parts of the face. It just says face, and then here we get some specifics that he has eyes. Okay, so okay. All right, let's look at number 3 here. Only seeking the face of his Lord, the Most High. Again, the face, seeking the face. Of course, this is, where is this? This is 92:20. Let's just look at that here. Again, a mention of the face, 92:20. Okay. All right. Okay. إلى ابتغاء وجه ربه الأعلى. Okay. Again, wajh means face. Okay, that is the word for face. Okay. Let's see how they translate it. Okay. Here, Muhammad Asad, countenance. Pickthall totally goes off the rail. Purpose. Yusuf Ali countenance. Oh man, clear Quran, pleasure of their Lord. Safi Kaskas, pleasure for the sake of their Lord, seeking the pleasure of the Lord. Okay, monotheist group says the face. Okay, so there it does say face. Bakhtiyar, countenance, pleasure. Okay, Saeed Malik says face. Okay, study Quran says face. Itani says face. Then it says acceptance, attention, pleasure. Mahmoud Ghali. You know, when it's got this much kind of twisting, countenance, approval, pleasure, all of these different, maybe they want to say that it's a countenance, okay, sake, for the sake of his Lord, countenance, the glory, okay, pleasure. It means they realize they have a big problem. And the problem is that their God seems to be physical. Okay, he has physical attributes of a physical person. Okay. Now, I don't believe there is any mention of teeth, tiger. But he does have a mouth. Okay. Let's look at number 4. Okay. All right. The Jews say God's hand is tied up. Be their hands tied up, and be they accursed for the blasphemy. They say, no. Nay, both his hands are widely outstretched. He giveth and spendeth of his bounty as he pleaseth. Okay. This is 56:4. I want to tell you a little bit about this verse because there's an interesting story. There's an interesting story about this verse. You see, there's a hadith that talks about a Christian who gave Muhammad the Quran. Somebody who would whisper to Muhammad at night verses and stuff, and then Muhammad would go by day and proclaim whatever this person told him. Is this 56:4? Is that right? 56:4? Let's see. Okay. Oops. Where was that? 4? Oh, 564. 564. I'm sorry. Okay. I got the wrong 564. Got the right numbers, just in the wrong. Okay. Order. 564. This verse is interesting because 564. Okay. The Jews say God is tight-fisted, tied were their fists. Okay. Let's see in Arabic. قالت اليهود يد الله مغلولة غلت أيديهم ولعنوا بما قالوا بل يدا مبسوطتان ينفق كيف يشاء ولا يزيدن كثيرا منهم ما أنزل إليك من ربك طغينا وكفر وألقينا بينهم العدوى والبغضاء إلى يوم القيامة. Okay. This is a really nasty verse. Okay. Okay. It's okay. Let's go to Muhammad Assad says the Jews say God's hands are shackled. It is their own hands that are shackled, rejected by God. Nay, but his wide are his hands stretched out. Now, the story that I've heard about this verse is that that what's really happening, and there was a monk named Buhaira who some believe, and I believe, he is Muhammad's real father. And Buhaira was an apostate Assyrian monk. He was an Assyrian monk, and he was an apostate. And so he started coming up with these crazy heresies, and he went to Arabia. It is believed that he's actually Muhammad's father. And he was an apostate monk wanting to establish a new religion. And he was getting older, so he wanted his son Muhammad to start the religion. And in the hadith, it talks about a Christian who used to give Muhammad verses every day at night. He'd give him the verses at night, and then Muhammad would go proclaim it in the daytime. Well, they researched this guy Buhaira, because there was another monk. Okay, so you have the monk Buhaira, who is believed to be the father Muhammad. There was another monk who went looking for Buhaira, who was in Arabia. Buhaira was in Arabia. This other monk, a Syrian monk, went and interviewed him. And when he interviewed him, Buhaira said to this other monk, he said, "You know what? I gave Muhammad all the verses. I gave Muhammad all these verses." But he said, "But I also gave him some true verses." And this is one of the so-called true verses that he allegedly gave to Muhammad. And what he means by this, he said to this other monk, according to the monk, they found the book that this other monk wrote about Buhaira. And this other monk said that he said some of the verses that Buhaira gave to Muhammad that were about Jesus. For instance, he said the verse, "They did not kill him or crucify him," is made to appear so to them. Buhaira told this monk that when he said that to Muhammad, what he meant is that they did not kill his deity. They just killed his body. It made to look like that. It made to appear so to them. So it wasn't about another person being killed, like Muslims believe, but rather that one of his natures, his human nature, was killed, but that the deity, it looked like they killed them, but because he's God, he has a divine nature, they did not kill the deity. They killed the human. And the Bible says that. He suffered in the flesh. Okay. And so, anyway, that was one of the verses that Buhaira gave and explained to this other monk. But this is one of the other verses that he explained to that monk. And what's interesting is this part right here. It's this part right here. It says, oops, where'd it go? Okay. Let's go back. Okay. Nay, but wide are his hands stretched out. That was actually about Jesus on the cross. His hands are stretched out. And that his hands were shackled. How were they the hands of God? The Jews say they got it was the hands of Jesus on the cross were incapable of moving because they were on the cross. And that his hands were stretched out. And that Buhaira told this other monk that when he gave this to Muhammad, he was talking about the Jews around the cross when Jesus was crucified. Okay, now Muslims are going to translate this different. They're going to say it's talking about Allah's hands, that, he's limited or whatever. But Buhaira told this other monk that he's the one who gave this to Muhammad, and that he here, when it says hands are shackled or hands are fettered, what he means, hands are tied up. What he means is his hands were nailed to the cross. And then it says, and his hands were stretched out. So this is a very interesting verse here. But, for Muslims, what they believe is that this is talk about Allah, that he has hands. Okay, so that this is actually talking about the hands of Allah. So anyway, he has a face, he has eyes, he has hands. Okay, and Quran makes a distinction between polytheists and Christians in Quran 582. Kind of strange, basically indirectly saying Christians are not polytheists. You know, one thing that is so difficult is to find some kind of structure or sense in the Quran in Islam. It is, the Quran is just such a hodgepodge. Hardly anything, because there's other places, where it says in the Quran that to the Christians and Jews, says we worship the same God. That the Muslims say to the Christians, we worship the same God. So on one time it says that, but then it says, but the Christians say that the Messiah is God. And so cursed are they because they say that Allah is the Messiah. So there's no consistency or or just logic in the Quran. So yeah, on the one hand it'll say we're polytheists. On the one hand, the Quran says at one place it says that Christians, Jews, and Sabians don't need to worry on Judgment Day. They're going to go to heaven. They don't need to worry. But then in other places it says, whoever says whoever says that Jesus, is the Son of God, that painful torment awaits them and they're going to go to hell. So yeah, the Quran says the thing and its opposite, and as presents both a thing and its opposite as truth. So yeah, there's no consistency in the Quran. Okay, let's look at this here. Here is another. It says, remember the day when the Shin of Allah shall be laid bare, i.e. the day of resurrection, and they shall be called to prostrate to Allah, but the hypocrites shall not be able to. 68:4-2. So very important. The Shin of Allah shall be laid bare. Now, what the heck? The Shin of Allah. Let's see some stuff. Let's look at the verse. Let's look at the verse first of all. Okay. See, sometimes these verses, they'll have an explanation. When you look at it, 68:42. Oops, went too far. Okay, here's 68:42. Okay. Oh. It says, on that day when man's very being shall be bared to the bone, or bared to the bone. Okay, that's Muhammad As'ad, which it sounds like a 1970 song, bad to the bone. But here it says it be bared to the bone. And it's not talking about Allah, it's talking man's very being shall be bared to the bone. Dang. When they translate it like this, they realize they have a big headache on their hands. Muhammad's poetic liberties have embarrassed them all. Okay. On that day when the shank shall be bared, and they will be called to prostrate themselves, yet they are unable to. Shank, we've heard of the word lamb shank, which is like a thigh, the leg of lamb. So here it's shank. Okay, on that day when truth shall be laid bare, my goodness, Safi Cuscus, man, you guys, not one of them deals with it correctly. I think they're embarrassed. I think they're embarrassed by this verse here. Yom, in Arabic, Yom yukshif an sak. ويدعون إلى السجود فلا يستطيعون. Yakshif means to uncover, the leg, the sock, the shin. Okay, let's see word for word. The day will be uncovered from the shin. Okay, that's not really completely right. On that day when it befalleth in earnest. Wow, I'm really unbelievable. Unbelievable how they are unwilling to translate it the way it is. Yusuf Ali does. The day the shin shall be laid bare. Okay. Clear Quran. Beware of the day the shin of Allah will be bared. So, if there's any Muslim here who would like to come on and maybe explain to us exactly how this happens, how exactly the shin of Allah will be bared. Okay. Just because, I've thought about this and what? Okay, Allah sitting on his throne, and then what? He lifts up his gown and shows his shin. If there's a Muslim that knows, here's the link. If you'd like to come up and help us, kuffar, to better understand this, it would be much appreciated. Let's see how else they translate this. Now look at Mustafa Khattab, because he does say it correctly. Beware of the day the shin of Allah will be bared. Why? On the day when the truth shall be bared. Okay, Safi Kaskas, very bad. Wahidun Khan, on the day when the truth shall be laid. Nope. On the day when there shall be severe affliction. Yeah, boy, yay. They will come when they will be exposed. My goodness, you guys. They understand this is embarrassing. They understand this is a disaster. And so they will not translate it correctly. They will not translate it correctly. On the day great calamity will be uncovered. The word in Arabic, here's the Arabic, Yom Yukshif an Sak. Sak means leg or the shin. Okay. And they can't, but they're afraid because it's so embarrassing. Someday when their shin bone will be laid bare. So there's all these people walking around with their shin bone exposed. According to Muhammad, on Judgment Day, everybody's going to be naked, and they're going to be looking at each other's private parts, according to Muhammad. Remember, Aisha said that, asked him. Aisha said, something about Judgment Day. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can find the actual hadith that talks about this. Muhammad talks so much about these issues. Okay. Here, unfortunately, I found it, and sometimes you wish not to find it, but Muhammad's great wisdom here. Allah's apostle said, the people will be gathered barefoot and naked and uncircumcised. I said, will men and women look at each other? He said, the situation will be too hard for them to pay attention to that. Ya boy, ya Muhammad. My goodness. And this is Sahih, you guys. So everybody's going to be naked and uncircumcised and barefooted. So they're not just going to be showing their shin. So this guy who says that on that day they're going to be looking at each other's shins, there's a lot more going on than just the shin situation. Um, so yapa yeah, yapa yeah, yapa yeah. Okay. All right, let's go back here and just look at, you know, one reason I like to look at this, you guys, is because when they try so hard to mistranslate it, it's proof they realize they have a big headache on their hands with this verse. This verse is a massive headache. It's like, wait a minute, Allah has a shin and he's going to expose it on Judgment Day. And then it'd be better just to do what T.B. Irving says, the day when their shin bone shall be laid bare. It's not just their shin bone, it's all of them is going to be laid bare, according to Muhammad. Remember the day of judgment when events shall be unfolded. I don't think so. On the day when every shin is laid bare. According to Muhammad, it's going to be a lot more than just a shin, but every shin is going to be laid bare, you guys. Saeed Malik. Why? Because they are embarrassed. This isn't about everybody's shin. It's about Allah's shin. Okay, on the day when the shank is laid bare, study Quran. They don't really say it's Allah's, but it's closer to the way. Talaletani, when the shin is laid bare, when the shin will be exposed, the day when the covering is removed from the shin. Where is this shin? Okay. Okay. When dreadful events shall be unfolded. Wow. When the shank shall be bared. Okay. When the terrible torment approaches. Wow. Really, really amazing. That's so many of them. The vast majority are completely off the rails, completely irrelevant to what the Arabic says. Some of them are right. On the day when the shin will be exposed. Shabir Ahmed, on the day when they are confronted with the stark reality that they are summoned to, they will be asked to prostrate. And when the reality is laid bare, that day when the shin, Allah's divine self, shall be laid bare. So the shin is Allah's divine self. You guys, the shin is Allah's divine self, according to Sayyid Vikr Ahmed. Allah's divine self. When the shin, Muhammad put them into this situation. He's to blame for this. This is Muhammad's fault, you guys. He's the one who's forcing them to do all of these contortions. And the day the shin will be uncovered, okay? The day when they will come, they will be exposed. Monotheist group. Nope. Abdul Halim, on the day when matters become dire. Abdul Daryabadi, whereon the shank shall be bared. On the day when great calamity befalls. The day when legs are bared. Aisha Bewley is one particular sock. Sock is singular. It's not rijlain, sock. It's one leg. It's one shin. In the Arabic, it's singular. Sock. Okay. On the day when truth will be manifest. It sounds a heck of a lot better than what it does say, but it's not what it says, though. On the day when catastrophe occurs. No relationship whatsoever. On the day when the shin, the hidden mystery or truth, shall be laid bare. So here the Shin is hidden mystery or truth. How many different interpretations for Shin have we gotten so far? Here it's hidden mystery or truth. What was the other one that was funny, man? Um, um, oh, Allah's divine self. Is there no Muslim here? If you're a Muslim, I put the link. Please come up and help us, because this is overwhelming. Okay, the hidden mystery or truth. On the day when the leg is bared, the deeds are exposed. So now it's deeds. It's hidden mystery or Allah's divine self or deeds. On that day, the leg will be laid bare. On that day, things will be extremely difficult. Musharraf Hassan, it's going to be difficult for you because you're changing Allah's words. Maududi, let's see Maududi now. He's very respectable. When dreadful calamity will unfold. I'm sorry, that's not what it says. Muhammad Shafi'i, he's the day the Shin is laid bare. Okay. Ahmed Khan, Reza Khan, the day when the leg shall be exposed. And you guys, the meaning is known to Allah. So Allah knows what he meant by the Shin. Okay. He used the word Shin, sock in Arabic, but what a sock means is not a sock like what you wear on your feet, you guys. This Arabic word sock. It's different from socks like you wear socks. Okay, it's sock means leg in Arabic or shin. But here the meaning is known to Allah because it don't make no sense. The day will come when they will be exposed. They, okay. Hassan al-Fatih Karib Allah, on the day when the leg shall be bared. Okay. Mauluna Muhammad Ali, on the day when thee is a severe affliction. Yeah, boy, yeah. This guy went he got into Old English, King James English, and he thee is yeah, I mean, in the Old English, if you're going to use this old English, it should be "Thou art a severe affliction," or "Thou art in severe affliction." But "thee is a severe affliction." You guys do not buy Maulana Muhammad Ali's book because it is terrible, terrible, terrible English, terrible grammar, terrible. I mean, this. Wow. It's like he's got Old English going here. Terrible translation. Okay. Muhammad Ahmed Samira. These guys are usually good, you guys, surprisingly. A day, time being uncovered, relieved of a shin leg. They are being called repeated. Okay. A day being uncovered, relieved of a shin leg. How are you relieved of a shin? We really need some Islamic scholars to help us with this. How are you relieved of a shin? How are you relieved of a shin? Is it being cut off? I mean, how are you relieved of a shin? A daytime being uncovered, relieved. A day being relieved of a shin. Oh boy, yeah, oh boy, yeah. What the heck is going on here? These guys are usually pretty good. These guys usually translate things correctly where the other guys are afraid to. But they really went off the deep end with this one. A daytime being uncovered, relieved of a shin leg. A daytime being uncovered, relieved of a shin leg. Of a shin leg. A daytime being uncovered, relieved of a shin leg. Of a shin leg. and they are being called repeatedly to prostrate. Dude, Muhammad Ahmed Samira, usually I like your translations because you usually say what everybody else is afraid to say because of the absurdity of some of the Quran verses. You're usually willing to translate it correctly, but I don't know what you did here. I don't have a clue of what you did here. My goodness. Okay, I think it's best just to move on. A day surely will come when their deeds will be publicly be displayed. So the shin is deeds. Okay. On the day, okay, Faridul Haq, on the day when the shin will be exposed. Okay, and it's a capital shin, so I think it's acknowledging that it's Allah's shin will be exposed. Okay, on the day when the truth shall be laid bare. Okay, the day will come when they will be exposed. Okay, on the day when the shin, i.e., terrifying fierceness of the hour of rising. Yay. How many translations of Shin have we had so far? It's Allah's divine self. It's a mystery of truth. It's the terrifying fierceness of the hour of rising. Will be laid bare. Yay. When the Shin, yay. The Arabic word is sock, not socks that you wear. In Arabic, the word for sock, by the way, is jorban. In Palestinian, say jarabin, which means socks. Okay, but not, okay, so we're not talking about socks. The sock in Arabic means leg or shin. Okay, Amut al-Rahman, let's see here. On the day when there is severe affliction and the truth is laid bare. Nope. Remember the day when the shin shall be laid bare. Okay. Well, that one's correct. Mohsen Khan. Arbery is generally very good. I know Sam Shimon really likes Arbery. On that day when the leg shall be bared. Okay, good. George Sale, on a certain day the leg shall be made bare. On the day when the leg shall be bared. On the day when men's legs shall be bared. It doesn't say men's legs. John Meadows Rodwell. It just says the leg, which is understood to be Allah's leg, not men's legs. And it's not just men's legs, according to Muhammad, that's going to be bared. On the day the dread event unfolds, okay, totally, completely off the rail. On the day Yoma, they will be bared. Yukshifu, from the shin. They will be bared. They yukshifu, from the shin, socken, okay, socken, and they will be invited. Okay, so the day they will be bared, so the people are going to be naked, like Muhammad said, and the shin, from the shin, they're going to be bared from the shin. When the veil from the sock, Allah's radiance. Sock means Allah's radiance, you guys. Sock, leg, shin means Allah's radiance. When the veil from Allah's radiance will be removed and they will be called. Dude. Okay, Allah will. Dude, Munir Mazyad, he does it correctly. On the day of judgment, Allah will uncover his shin. So this guy gets it right. Munir Mazyad, you guys. If you're looking for the right translation of this verse, the guy to go with is Munir Mazyad. He translates it correctly. On the day of judgment, Allah will uncover his shin. Okay. Yeah, boy, yeah. I mean, the translation is correct now, but what it means, we don't have a clue what it means. But at least the translation is correct now. This translation is what the Arabic says. Okay. On that day, he will manifest himself. I don't think so. He'll manifest his leg. On the day when the shin is exposed. Okay, that's correct. Fadl Suleiman. On the day when the shin will be exposed. Correct. Someday when their shin bone will be laid bare. Okay. It's correct except for it's the wrong shin bone. There's one shin bone, and it's Allah's. On the day when it will uncover a leg, it will uncover a leg. A day when catastrophe occurs, Ali kulli kara'i, very bad. Time when reality becomes manifest, Ahmed Khalasi, very bad. A day when the shin shall be laid bare, very good. Safir Rahman Mubarak Puri. That one, this was right here. When the shin with a capital S, meaning it's Allah's shin, will be laid bare. Correct. A.S. Muhammad, when the leg will be exposed. When the truth comes to light. Very bad. Al-Muntakhab fi tafsir al-Quran al-Kareem. Dude, you are not Muntakhab. Sorry to tell you, man, you're very bad. Muntakhab means elected. So you would not be elected. Very bad translation. Anisuddin, on the day the covering will be removed from the ankle. Yo, boy, yeah, you moved all the way down to the ankle. You moved all the way down to the ankle. Yo, boy, yeah. The ankle. There being calamity. Okay, Anisuddin, sorry, dude. You don't get the prize. On the day, shank will be uncovered. Okay, that's kind of correct. The day the shin shall be laid bare, Yusuf Ali, the day will be uncovered. Okay, so we got all of these different translations. Terrible, terrible translations. But you know what, you guys? Who can blame them? Look what they have to work with. Look what you have to work with. Even if you translate it perfectly, bear zigzags. A bear zigzags, you know, it's like you can't get mad at them because look what they got to work with. They have to try to make sense of this. If there's a Muslim who can make sense of this for us, if there's a Muslim who can make sense of this for us, please, please come. Here, I'm going to put the link again. This is so important because we are dumb kuffar and we don't understand. Shin, shinny, shin, shin. You guys are coming up with some nice songs here, you guys. It's hairy though. Okay. You know, okay, we're going to come back to your comment, Mr. Hicks, but I just want to say, okay, it doesn't say anywhere, okay, as far as I'm concerned, not even in the tafsir does it mention that this leg is hairy, okay? There's no mention of it, okay? And so you're kind of, it's called exegesis, where you're putting things into the words, okay? You're not taking what's in it, out. You are inserting your opinion, okay? And I'm not trying to be critical. I'm not trying to embarrass you in front of everybody. But there's no mention of it being a hairy shin, okay? It's just not there, okay? It's not there. Now, if you find another source where it says, it's a hairy shin, please come and, I'll be corrected. But in reality, there is no mention, at least not in this verse, of it being a hairy shin. Okay. All right, Houston says, the most wretched person on the day of resurrection is the man. Yep. Yeah, but yeah, it tells you who this Allah is, huh? I know. It's unbelievable. A man named King of Kings. Yeah. It shows you who this is. It shows you who this is. Satan. Okay, it's silky smooth then. Dude, you're still doing exegesis, okay? You are inserting your opinion, okay? You are, you're trying to say something that's just not in the text. The text is so clear, so detailed, moving, but it says nothing about the hairiness or non-hairiness of it. Okay. So we have to stay true to the text. And so, yeah. So, okay, let's look at some more stuff. We got more stuff about shins because the hadith, there's a lot of hadith about shins. Muhammad kind of liked the topic of shins. Okay, so let's just kind of look at a couple of things about shins. Um, okay, let's see what Ibn Kathir says. Okay, shins, number one. Okay, the two shins of the Messenger of Allah were thin, and he would not laugh except as a smile. And whoever looked at him, I would say, he put kohl on his eyes, kohl, but he did not use kohl. Kohl, you guys, is mascara. And whenever I looked at him, I would say he put mascara on his eyes. This is a different topic. The word in Arabic is kohl. Kohl. And they still use it today. He put kohl, not coals like that store Kohl's where you get those Kohl's dollars. Okay. My mom loves the store Kohl's, but this is kohl. Okay. And it means mascara. And he's saying that Muhammad used to put mascara on. And his shins were very skinny. He had chicken legs. And he wore mascara, you guys. This hadith from Jami' al-Tirmidhi, okay, it's da'if, but it's there. They left it there. I'm kind of curious now. Let me see if I could read it in Arabic. On Jabir, قال كان في ساقي رسول حموشة وكان لا يضحك إلا تبسم وكنت إذا نظرت إليه قلت أكحل. He put mascara on العينين, on his two eyes. وليس بكحل. Okay, and he didn't have mascara on. Okay, so just an amazing. So happy that this is in the book to teach us. So important to know this. Okay, he had skinny legs, you guys. He had chicken legs. Okay, two shins of the messenger were thin. Okay, so he had chicken legs. Okay, all right. Let's go on to number 2 here. Okay, now, okay, let's see this. The messenger said that izar, this is the gown they wore, should come down to the middle of the shins and the calf. If you insist, then a little lower. And if you insist, then a little further down. But izar has no right to come to the ankle. Okay, so this is like your gown. If you want to wear one of those gowns, okay, it should go down to your shin. Okay, 2. Let's see this. 3. I heard Ali say, the Prophet instructed Ibn Mas'ud to climb up a tree, and he told him to bring him something from it. His companions looked at the shins of Abdullah bin Mas'ud when he climbed the tree, and they laughed at how thin his shins were. The messenger said, why are you laughing? The leg of Abdullah will be heavier in the balance on the day of resurrection, because they both had chicken legs, and so you needed to give some reward. They were all laughing at Abdullah bin Mas'ud's chicken legs, and then Muhammad said that you're going to get an extra reward on Judgment Day for having chicken legs. So it's right here, you guys. I'm not making it up. This is Sahih. With the Hasan Isnad. Okay. So both Muhammad and Abdullah bin Mas'ud had chicken legs, you guys. That's what it says. And that's it. Okay. Uthman bin okay, this is Uthman bin, this is the one who burned all the Qur'ans, used to wear a loincloth reaching to the middle parts of his shins. And he said, in this manner was the loincloth of my companion, meaning Muhammad. Okay, so we see it in Arabic. حدثنا عبد الله بن مبارك عن موسى بن عن إياس أبيه قال كان عثمان بن عفان يعتذر إلى أنصاف ساقيه. Okay. يعتذر إلى أنصاف, okay, the halves of his two legs. وقال هكذا كانت أزرة صاحبي يعني محمد. Okay, so these guys took fashion tips from each other, as Muhammad did. Okay, 4. See number 5. Now, we're not talking about Allah's shins here, you guys, but okay. Okay. Indeed, the first batch to enter paradise will appear like a moon of a night that is full. The second will appear like the color of the most brightest star. Each man among them will have 2 wives, each wife wearing 70 bracelets, with the marrow of their shins being visible from behind them. The marrow of their shins. What the heck? What the heck? And each man gets 2 of these wives in paradise. This will be besides the 70 others too. So, okay, so this is like if you watch Christian Prince, sometimes he gets the picture of the X-rays where you can see the marrow. You know, this is Islam, you guys. This is Islam. If you're a Muslim, you should leave Islam yesterday. The messenger turned towards a mountain pass and urinated until I took pity on him because of the way he parted his legs when he urinated. Yo boy. I took pity on him because of the way he parted his legs when he urinated. You guys, Muslims, Sunan ibn Majah. This is in your books. 341. That's the book of purification. I just want to see it for myself now. 341. Okay. Yep. Here it is. Here it is for all to see. It's in the books, you guys. The messenger used to turn towards a mountain pass and urinated until I took pity on him because of the way he parted his legs when he urinated. This is in Sunan ibn Majah. Okay. عن ابن عباس قال عدل رسول عليه وسلم إلى الشعاب فبال, means he urinated حتى إني أوي له من فك وركية حين بال. Okay. يا بيي. Thank you, T. Hicks, for that. Again, Muslims, if you're here, please help us. Help us. Help us. Number 6. I heard the Prophet say, the Lord Allah will lay bare his shin, and then all believers, men and women, will prostrate themselves before him. Okay, but there will remain those who used to prostrate in the world for showing off and for gaining good reputation. Such people will try to prostrate, but their backs will be as stiff as if it were one bone, a single vertebrae. So again, for all of those 50 translations we saw, Muhammad himself in this Sahih hadith explains that we're talking about Allah's shin. The Lord Allah will lay bare his shin. So there's no question about whose shin is being discussed. Okay. I saw a sign of injury on the shin of Salama. I asked, what is this? He replied, I was afflicted in the day of Khaybar. The people said, Salama has been afflicted. I was brought to the Prophet. He blew on me 3 times. I did not feel any pain up till now. He blew on him 3 times. Sahih hadith, you guys. This is Sahih. He blew on him 3 times. Okay. He will become unconscious. Allah will send or will cause to send rain, which will be like dew, and there will grow out of it like a wild growth, the bodies of the people. Then the second trumpet will be blown, and they will stand up and begin to look around, and it will be said, O people, go to your Rabb, your Lord. Then there will be command, make them stand there, and it will be called to, and they will be called to account. Then it will be said, separate from them the share of the fire. It will be asked how much. It will be said 999 out of every 1,000. That will be the day which will make the children hoary-headed men because of its terror. And that will be a day when the Shin will be uncovered. Oh, boy, yay. Okay. All right. Let me see. Do I have? Okay. One last one here. Okay. The day the Shin will be laid bare, and they will be summoned to bow in adoration, but they'll not be able. Okay, that's the verse in the Quran. Let me see if there's anything. Okay, these are some of Allah's physical attributes. Allah was created Adam in his picture. Bukhari 6. Both hands of our Lord are right, and there is no leftness. Muslim 47:21. Allah has one shin. Okay, let's look at Muslim 47:21 because now I'm kind of curious. I've heard this so many times, but I've never actually looked at the verse itself. 47. Oh, shoot. Let me see. Do they have that? Right hand. What does it say? Muslim 47:21. I don't have that, but anyway, we all know that both hands, Allah's hands are both right hands. Okay. Okay, we saw these already. Okay. Okay, here's some other passages that kind of lend themselves to Allah's physicality. And it says, the angels will be on its sides, and 8 will that day bear the throne of thy Lord above them. Okay, so they're actually carrying Allah's throne. There's 8 angels. Now that means that he is limited because this is an actual physical throne that angels are carrying. It's too big for one angel. There needs to be 8 angels carrying it. So, okay. Let's just, the face, turn yourself, the face of Allah. Okay, the eyes. Okay, our eyes. And then, there's also this. The Prophet said the paradise and the fire hell argued. And the fire, even inanimate objects argue in Islam. Okay, so hell and paradise and hell are fighting. And hell said, I've been given the privilege of receiving the arrogant and the tyrants. Paradise says, what is the matter with me? So, well, what's the matter with me? Why do only the weak and humble among the people enter me? Boy, yeah, you guys. On that, Allah said to paradise, you are my mercy, which I bestow on whoever I wish of my servants. Then Allah said to hellfire, you are my means of punishment by which I punish whoever I wish of my slaves. And each of you will have its fill. As for the fire, it will not be filled till Allah puts his foot over it. So Allah has a foot. Whereupon it will say, Kati, Kati, which is enough, enough. At that time it will be filled, and its different parts will come closer to each other, and Allah will not wrong any of his created beings. As regards paradise, Allah will create a new creation to fill it with. Yeah, boy, yeah, yeah, boy, yeah. Whew. Okay, so he's got a foot, you guys. He's got a face, got eyes, got two right hands. He's got a foot. He's got a shin. Okay, so okay. Um, they made not a just estimate of Allah as is due him. On the day of resurrection, the whole earth will be grasped by his hand, and the heavens will be rolled up in his right hand. Glory is he, and high above all they associate as partners with him. Okay, so here he has a hand. Okay, so lots of body parts. Okay, so anyway, guys, there you have it. The Allah's body parts, his shins. There. Now I've heard too that there may be a left hand, but there are two right hands, so he might have three hands. I kind of think, to be honest, you know what I think? Maybe Muhammad saw, those Hindu gods that got a bunch of arms, that he saw one of them, and then he thought, that Allah maybe is like that. I don't know. So Fatwa said, what must we do to affirm that Allah has affirmed for himself, such as two hands, 2 feet, fingers, and other attributes that are mentioned? Affirmed for himself. Oh, okay. So he has 2 hands, 2 feet, fingers, and other attributes that are mentioned. Okay. Yeah, but yay. Now, sounds like you're Arabic there, AJ Kurjur going wild. AJ Kurjur going wild. انت تحكي عربي? Muslims say not to imagine Allah's body parts. Well, the thing that's interesting about it is that Allah is not spirit. If he's not spirit, then he must be physical. And then we are told the physical parts, And we've all seen Christian Prince's artwork where he makes these pictures. So anyway, I just want to say to the Muslims, this is what your books say. You may not know that your books say this, but they do. And these are more reason for you to leave Islam. Remember this. It says, the messenger turned towards a mountain pass and urinated until I took pity on him because of the way he parted his legs when he urinated. It's like, okay, let me read to you. Okay. Kitab Sifat al-Qiyamah wal-Jannah wal-Nar. Book about, okay. Abdullah, okay, let me go ahead and read this to you. This is from our friend Truth Defender. It says, Abdullah bin Umar reported Allah's messenger saying, Allah the Exalted and Glorious would fold the heavens on the day of judgment, and then he would place them in his tight hand, I think it's right hand, and say, I am the Lord, where are the haughty and the proud today? He would fold the earth, placing it on the left hand. Okay. And say, I am the Lord, where are the haughty and the proud today? Okay. So these two, Sahih Muslim. Okay. So these two seem to be saying that he has both right and left hands, but he does have 2 right hands though. So he has 3 hands apparently. So Sahih Muslim 39, book 39. Okay. Thank you for sending that. Oh, let's see. Oh, so he has 3 hands, possibly. So, all right, you guys. Well, there you have it. Allah's shin and body parts. And so, all right. Well, we don't have any Muslims here today. We really needed to have a Muslim to come help us understand these things. Um, if there is a Muslim, we still welcome you to come. You know, you're the reason we're here. We want to talk to you, and you know, yeah, TX. I kind of think it's kind of like the Muhammad got the idea from the Bible, where it talks about that the heavens will roll up like a scroll. You know, where it says that the heavens will roll up like a scroll, and uh, and so I kind of think that's what he's thinking about. I don't know. So, by the way, AJ Kujur going wild. Do you speak Arabic? I mean, I noticed that you said some words in Arabic there. I don't know if it okay. Reminds me. Yeah, yeah. It does remind me of Hinduism, of the, Allah, having all these different hands, 8 hands and stuff going on. تعال يا عم تعال يا عم ودافع عن ساق الله. هذا في كتابك. هذا اللي في كتابك. وإذا بدك بنرحب بكم. تعال دافع عن قرآنك اللي بتقول إنه الله إله ساق سيكشف ساقه. If you're Muslim, please come and help us understand. You know what? It's not that late. I would like to go specifically about the, let's see, specifically in the right elbow. Kind of curious. What is the verse again? What is the main verse? Let's look at that main verse. Okay. 68:42. Okay, now I did look at these. And I kind of wrote what was interesting about them and relevant, from Ibn Kathir, from Jalalain, but there was one that I didn't see. Let me just go see if I could, let me see if I can find it. Okay. Surah Al-Baqarah. 68, okay. On x.com. Okay. Okay, Asbab Nuzul. I kind of want to see what they. I don't know if they had it. I don't know if I saw it. 68. Ah, shoot. It doesn't have 6842. Very wise not to have it. Okay, let's look at the other one, see if it has anything more. No. Okay, Asbab Nuzul doesn't have it, you guys. Let's see, Tostari, Kashedi. Let's see if I don't think Ayatollah Khomeini said anything about this. Let's go look. 68. I don't think he said it. Yeah, that's right. He did not. That's it. One has verse 1. Okay. There was something actually about what we were reading, 6842. I just want to go back to 6842 because there's one thing in it. Okay, let me just go back and say 6842. There was one other thing in it that I wanted to kind of talk about real quickly. Okay, Quran 6842. Is it 6842? Was it? No, I don't think that's the one. Okay, shoot. There was one thing I wanted to look at in. There was one thing I wanted to look at in one of the passages. Let me see if I could find it. Okay. Okay. Yes. 2. Okay. Maybe it's 2:115. Let me just look at that real quick. Put on. Shoot. Okay. No, it's not this one. There was one thing, it's gonna. Okay. Let me go ahead and show you this real quickly. Whenever we need more understanding.
Allah described in the Quran that he has 2 hands when he addressed Iblis, Satan. And he told him, what prevented you from prostrating to what I have created with my 2 hands? So this is what Allah described himself. Allah described in the Quran that he has 2 hands.
Okay. I don't know this.
Al-Qalam, that he has a shin, a leg. يوم يكشف عن ساق ويدعون إلى السجود فلا يستطيعون. This shin, this leg, belongs to Allah. And the authentic hadith in al-Bukhari confirms this. And madhab Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, from the Prophet ﷺ to the companions, to the tabi'een, to the tabi'it tabi'een, all agree upon this. So he says, how can we refute and reply to those who accuse the Muslims of giving Allah Azza wa Jal a figure? And he used the word, I never wrote it down and I never took the initiative to memorize it because I don't use it. So how would we reply to them? Akhi, first of all, you don't need to reply to them. The people of innovation and al-ahwa, of
People of innovation. The word in Arabic is bid'ah, which like means a cult. But this is what it. We're not making it up. We didn't write this in the Quran. We didn't write it in the Hadith. Muhammad said it in the Hadith, and it's written in the Quran. All these body parts, including the shin.
desires and whims, those who follow their desires and whims, not the Sharia. You do not waste your time replying to them. Yes, Sheikh, but they are truth seekers. No, they're not. They have a different mindset. They follow innovation, whims, and desire.
This guy really strikes me as someone who's really nasty. He's not nice. He's cruel. He kind of looks like, roly-poly face, like he's nice. But we saw the way he treated Sneeko. And, the way he's talking, man, it's not like he really cares. It's just angry man.
Our Prophet told us, alayhi salatu wasalam, that this ummah will be divided into 73 sects. All of them are in hell except one. And this one is those who are following my footsteps and the footsteps of the companions. These people are not following the footsteps of the Prophet ﷺ. Now, the Quran, in the Quran, Allah tells us that this is a book that is clear in Arabic.
Absolutely.
So
My
it's an
goodness.
Arabic book. And it was made clear so the Arabs
So
understand it.
clear. So clear. Amazing.
And Allah tells us in this book
Mm.
that He has eyes, that He has a face, that He has two hands. Specifically, He did not say one hand or hands. He said two hands. He specified this so that there's no ambiguity of it being a metaphor. When I say I have a hand over you, means that I have a favor over you. So I use one hand. That's it. But when I say two hands, this cannot be a metaphor. To the Arabs, they know that these are two real hands. So the hadith says that Allah Azza wa Jal has fingers. The Quran says Allah has a shin. So when we come to all of these things, and these deviant people come and say, no, 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 no. This is not true. Akhi, it's in black and white. It's in Arabic. Allah is telling us. The Prophet is telling us. No, no, no. Still, this is a metaphor. Now, why would we even go down this road and talk to them? Such people don't deserve to even reply to them because they're deviant. So stay and remain steadfast. Learn your religion. Abide by the Quran and the Sunnah. And there's a very, very beautiful book that I encourage everybody to study it, which is Al-Aqidatul Wasitiyyah of Shaykh al-Islam bin Taymiyyah. It responds to all of their doubts in straightforward, قال الله, قال الرسول عليه الصلاة والسلام. Leaves no room for any ambiguity or for them to try and maneuver, because it's straightforward and it is Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah's aqidah.
I just want to say that his way is a cowardly way. It's a cowardly way, which is just don't talk to them. And which, you know what? It's good that these guys are doing this because, there's this other interview. I think you guys maybe seen it with a lady named Besma Wahba. And she had two of the most famous sheikhs in Egypt, including a mufti, in front of her. And she said, you know what? There's a preacher, it was talking about Father Zechariah, who's been asking these questions about, the sex slaves in the Quran and everything. And so is this something that Islam permits? And one of the imams, the mufti guy, says, you want to make a big deal out of this because of Zechariah Butros? You want to make a big deal? And she said to him, she said, listen, the young people of Egypt, and in their case, they were in Egypt, they're listening to Father Zechariah. They're the ones who have the questions. And if you don't answer, where else are they supposed to get their answers from? And this guy is saying, we don't need to answer because you don't have an answer. Because you don't have an answer. That's why you don't need to answer, because you don't have an answer. So, and I don't blame you. Look at what you have to work with. So, okay. All right. Our brother Truth Defender sent us another item here. Oops. Let's look at it together. Let's watch it together. This will be a good way to close our time together here today. Appreciate you guys being here. God bless you. And what this is. It looks fun though. Oh, shoot. Oops. Okay, let's go to the video.
Dit topic at hand is actually the single most divisive topic in Islamic theological history. As any student of Islamic theology is intimately aware, the one issue that is the most discussed issue in Islamic theology, and the one issue that divides the entire spectrum of Islamic sectarianism, is the issue of...
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please?
The attributes of God. And this goes back to the very first century of Islam.
The doctrinal differences between these two theological schools, let me dumb this down for you guys. This one, God, body parts. This one, no body parts. And this is part of the problem with even Sheikh Yasser Khadi.
We're going to have a problem here.
He is from this kind of group of thinking.
I am very confident at this stage of my life that the earliest developed Sunni creed is Atharism, or what we now call the simplistic Salafi creed. And that is to affirm the attributes and to believe in Qadr and to respect the Sahaba. That's very clear. It's the earliest developed creed.
They believe God has body parts. Okay, so it's just a dumb school. I'm going to be honest with you.
He didn't just say what I think he did he?
It's totally stupid.
In Surah number 38, ayat number 75, Allah mentioned that we made Adam by our hands. If you read Surah Zumar, Surah number 39, ayat number 67, Allah said that the heavens will be folded up in my right hand. If you read Surah Qalam, Surah number 68, ayat number 42, the Shin of Allah is mentioned. If you read Surah Rahman, Surah number 55, ayat number 27, and Surah Lail, Surah number 92, ayat number 17, 18, 19, and 20, the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned. If you read Sahih al-Bukhari, the fingers of Allah are mentioned. So all these are a direct indication that Allah has got a shape.
It's ridiculous to be anthropomorphic, to believe God has body parts. I think that's just dumb.
So Allah described in the Quran that he has a face. Allah described in the Quran that he has two hands when he addressed Iblis, Satan. And he told him, what prevented you from prostrating to what I have created with my two hands? So this is what Allah described himself. Allah says in Surah Al-Qalam that on the day of judgment, Allah Azza wa Jal would uplift and show his leg. وَيُكْشَفُ عَنْ سَاقٍ وَيُدْعَوْنَ إِلَى السُّجُودِ. And they are called to prostrate, and everyone prostrates except the hypocrites. All the believers will prostrate, and the hypocrites will try to prostrate, and their back goes one piece, and they will be thrown into hell. Allah tells us about himself subhanahu wa ta'ala that he has an eye. The Prophet tells us that that Allah Azza wa Jal has fingers.
They don't even say he has body parts like a normal human. Astaghfirullah, toba, toba. They give him deformed body parts. I'm not making this up. They believe in stupid things like
the Quran says that Allah has one eye, and another ayah says he has multiple eyes.
Like he has two right hands and he has only two fingers, I think, and
and both of Allah's hands are right hands.
I think that's just dumb.
The hadith says very clearly that both his hands are right.
We believe that both of the hands of Allah are what? Huh? كِلْتَا يَدَيْهِ يَمِينٌ. Both of them are right. How? I don't know. Don't try.
He has like only one leg, and that too half a leg.
Surah Qalam, Surah number 68, ayat number 42, the Shin of Allah is mentioned.
He only has the bottom part of the leg, and he has 1 foot.
The saq here refers to Allah's shin. So he has a leg.
On the day of judgment, Allah Azza wa Jal would uplift and show his leg.
Just distorted. It's like, what the hell are you creating? Stop it, you're torturing us. They have, honestly, that is not, they've got some picture of some kind of a gremlin. This is not God. They haven't found God yet. And then the sickos say, don't imagine it. And you're like, it's a bit late for that, mate.
How? I don't know. Don't try.
It's a bit late for that, mate.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beyond your imagination and above anything that you can visualize or imagine.
You're imagining this deformed thing, and they say it moves, and you're imagining it hopping, and and they go, oh, but don't imagine it. And you're thinking, well, it's a bit late, mate. I can't not imagine it.
Whatever Allah says, whatever the Prophet ﷺ says, we believe in it and we affirm it without thinking too deeply about this, about the actuality of this attribute.
They believe in dumb stuff, honestly. They, you know, in the 21st century, the Salafi Aqidah cannot stand. It would be ridiculed stupidly. You know, if they try to teach their beliefs openly now, like they do, but I think they're starting to shy away now.
In fact, I think it is high time that we take a fresh look at this controversy, despite the fact that from within the Islamic tradition, it goes back to the very beginnings of this religion by a century, not the very beginnings, but 1 century after the beginnings, despite the fact that people think that this issue has been there, done that, and everything has been solved and everything has been discussed. In fact, I think, no, we are, it is high time that we actually take a different perspective and we examine this entire controversy with even more knowledge that we have that maybe our predecessors did not have. And we should bring in philosophical concepts and language concepts.
Because they're starting to realize that hearing themselves aloud, damn, is that my voice? That does sound stupid.
I like this guy, man. He got beat. Remember when the guy, he said something about Palestine or something, and they went, attacked his house. He wasn't home at the time, but his wife was. Terrified her. It was an unbelievable situation what they did to him, to his family. He wasn't home at the time. His wife was with the kids. She was terrified they invaded his home. And they were on video, proud about it. It's like, give me a break, man. Yes, sadly that did it. Yeah. Well, here is the hadith that says, "Those who are just and fair will be with Allah Most High on thrones of light at the right hand of the Most Merciful. Those who are just in their rulings, whom they are in charge." Muhammad, one of the narrators, says in his hadith, and both of his hands are right hands. So this is saying he's only got two hands, but both of them are right. Both of them are on the right side. So I look at this guy that he's hopping around with, he's got one shin, just the bottom part of the leg. Dude, help us. Al-Hatni, Al-Hatni, Al-Hatni. I have to resort to it. Yeah. And then they think it's strange. God became a man. That God took on human flesh. He took on a human nature. They think it's strange to say that. God took on human nature, became a man with 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 eyes, 2 ears, a mouth, a nose, a body, just like all the rest of us, so that he could die for us. Instead, they came up with this Allah with 1 eye. That one guy was saying he has 1 eye. And, there is a hadith where it says how you tell the difference between Allah and the Antichrist is that I think Allah has 1 eye. That's how you tell the difference between Allah and the Antichrist. And so, and the Quran will transform into a young white boy who don't la yinzifun, who don't bleed. So, you guys, if you're a Muslim, you need to leave Islam. This is what your book says. take these verses, go talk to your sheikh, see if you get a satisfactory answer. You know, a lot of times the sheikh will say something and say, and it makes no sense, but just because he said it, that's enough. For instance, when Muhammad Hijab was doing a debate with David Wood, and he said, that Allah prays. Who does Allah pray to? And then Muhammad Hijab diverted everybody's attention, saying, it doesn't mean he prays to, it means he prays for. He prays for Muhammad. Well, that wasn't the issue. That wasn't the question. The question was, who does he pray to? Doesn't matter if it's for Muhammad or to Muhammad. The question is, who does he pray to? But all the Muslims there were so blown away by Muhammad Hijab's wisdom, and they made T-shirts about it. He prayed to and not for, or he prayed for, not to, or something like that. But that doesn't answer the question. It doesn't answer the question. But they were just happy that an answer was given, and he made his answer loud and obnoxious like he does, and so everybody accepted it and made T-shirts, but Muslims don't accept easy answers. Get the truth. Your eternal soul depends on it. God gave you an intellect, gave you a mind to think for yourself. Don't accept easy answers, because it could cost you eternity. Cost you your eternity. So look at these things. It's like you think, why is this guy making fun of us or something? I'm not. I'm just showing you what's in your book. And it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing, and you could tell by the way they translate it that even the translators and the scholars are embarrassed by it. Okay, but it is what it is. This is what the Quran says. This is what the Hadith says. And you're not going to change it, but you can leave it. And I encourage you to do that. Come to the truth. Come to the living Word of God. Even the Quran says that He's the Word of God, who pre-existed with God. And it says that God created everything by His Word. Jesus is His Word. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God. All things were made by Him. Without Him was not anything made that was made. In Him was the life, and the life was the light of men. So, all right, you guys. Well, shoot, we're almost at the 2-hour point. Thank you for being with us. And if you haven't done it, please do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Yesur, sa'idni. Yesur, samahni. Yesur, udkhul albi. We love you, but much more importantly, He loves you. Have a great, wonderful night. And I don't know if it's that time of year where you feel that you need to see a Mormon cartoon, but let me just help you with this.
A plan was presented to build planet Earth, where the spirit children would be sent to take on mortal bodies and learn good from evil. Lucifer stood and made his bid for becoming savior of this new world. Wanting the glory for himself, he planned to force everyone to become gods. Opposing the idea, the Mormon Jesus suggested giving man his freedom of choice, as on other planets. The vote that followed approved the proposal of the Mormon Jesus, who would become savior of the planet Earth. Enraged, Lucifer cunningly convinced 1/3 of the spirits destined for Earth to fight with him in revolt. Thus Lucifer became the devil and his followers the demons. Sent to this world they would forever be denied bodies of flesh and bone. Those who remained neutral in the battle were cursed to be born with black skin. This is the Mormon explanation for the Negro race. The spirits that fought most valiantly against Lucifer would be born into Mormon families on planet Earth. These would be the lighter-skinned people, or white and delightsome, as the Book of Mormon describes them.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Where's your mama? Where's your mama?
If you have ever wondered why dull apologists lie so much, it's because on a rare occasion that they tell the truth, this happens.
One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
You're going to have to repeat that.
Now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
That the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say.
The question about the Hur al-Ain. He said the men in Jannah, we know, will be receiving Hur al-Ain. But what about the women? What do they receive?
Well, we are told that they will only receive their husband and one single person. Because by default, women can only love one man. Subhanallah, by nature, Allah created them unable to love more than one man. But Allah created men to have the capability of loving more than one woman. And
creating Shubuhat, he's creating and he doesn't know. And he's making fun of me because he can't answer. He can't answer.
No, your voice is funny. That's why I'm making
No,
fun of
it's funny. Or your logic doesn't work.
Are you going to let me talk at all?
I gave you the chance. Recite right now, Fatiha.
Okay, I don't know the I don't want to know it. I don't want to know it. But I know a lot of Quran verses. But I know a lot of I know a lot of Quran verses.
He only knows.
Can I tell you some of the Quran verses I know? Are you afraid also? Are you also afraid? Are you going to do like him? Okay, well, then let me say something from the Quran. Let me say something from the Quran. Let me tell you.
Fatiha. Everybody. Fatiha. 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 Right now, Fatiha. Fatiha. Recite right now. We're all watching you. Recite Fatiha.